Live from New Delhi, watching DD India News, India's voice to the world. I'm Lipakshi Khurana. Coming up in the next hour. Prime Minister Narendra Modi posts another Instagram video, praises anti-paper leak bill, says taking steps to make exam system more robust. Trump claims Board of Peace reaches historic agreement for disarmament of Hamas, critical step towards Gaza governance. US retaliates to Iran's continued strike on its military bases in Kuwait and Jordan, imposes sanctions on global networks supporting Iranian airline Mahan Air. Hundreds of migrants pour into Spain's Ceuta from Morocco by sea and land, attempt to reach Europe, military called in. Europe unites against a FIFA investment proposal with European soccer's governing body. UEFA drawing the line, rejects FIFA stake sale plan. And India continues to shine in Commonwealth Games in Glasgow. Weightlifter Lovepreet wins silver, discus thrower Seema settles for bronze, while Neeraj Chopra qualifies for javelin final. And on to the details now. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has lauded the passage of a bill by Parliament, stating that it makes our examination system more robust. Posting another Instagram video, Prime Minister praises anti-paper leak bill, saying that the legislation makes India's examination system more robust and reinforces transparency and fairness in public examinations.
विश्वस्त परीक्षा पद्धति, इसके लिए हम लगातार एक के बाद एक कदम उठा रहे हैं। टास्क फोर्स की रचना हो, फास्ट ट्रैक की और रचना हो, राज्यों के सुझावों को ध्यान में लेना हो, क्योंकि पिछले कई दशकों से हर राज्य और केंद्र सरकार इस प्रकार की पेपर लीक की परेशानी झेल रहा है। बच्चों के भविष्य को भी इसके कारण संकट पैदा हो रहा है। इन सब को ध्यान में रखते हुए देशव्यापी सभी राज्यों में भी और केंद्र में भी शिक्षा पद्धति में सुधार अनिवार्य हो गया है। टेक्नोलॉजी के भरपूर उपयोग की आवश्यकता हो गई है और साथ साथ फिर से कोई पेपर माफिया, पेपर लीक करने वाली गैंग, देश के बच्चों के भविष्य के साथ खिलवाड़ करने वाली गैंग, उनको बख्शा नहीं जाएगा। इसलिए कठोर कानूनों की भी जरूरत है। हम संसद में बिल लेकर के गए थे और जैसा मैंने आपको वादा किया था, गत 2 दिन संसद के दोनों सदनों ने, अधिकतम माननीय सांसदों ने विस्तार पूर्वक उससे चर्चा की है और आज दोनों सदनों ने इस कठोर कानूनों वाले, प्रावधानों वाले इस बिल को पास कर दिया है। अब विश्वस्त परीक्षा पद्धति की दिशा में जाने में एक महत्वपूर्ण काम पूर्ण हुआ है। काम आगे भी चलता रहेगा। हम ऐसी परिस्थितियों को लंबे समय तक नहीं चलने देंगे। इस विश्वास के साथ साथियों, आइए हम सब मिल करके विकसित भारत के स्वप्न को पूर्ण करने के लिए कंधे से कंधा मिलाकर के चलें। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
Well, Parliament on Thursday night passed amendments to an existing law to provide for stringent punishment for those involved in paper leaks and other unfair means in examination, with Rajya Sabha clearing the bill amid a walkout by the opposition. The 7-15-hour-long debate and voting on the Public Examination Prevention of Unfair Means Amendment Bill 2026 saw the uproar by the opposition. Replying to the debate, Union Minister Jitendra Singh's replied that the BJP government holds the youth in high esteem and their esteem had gone up at international level under Prime Minister Narendra Modi.
The irony is that the first time the suggestion for setting up a national agency came way back in 1992, almost 33 years back. It was a Congress government at the center. A series of committees were formed, and in UPA 2 in 2010, again a very strong suggestion from one of the committees set up by them came to set up a national testing agency. I'm sure they will appreciate and be grateful and thank Prime Minister Modi that the unfinished task and unfinished agenda left by UPA is being completed and brought to conclusion by the NDA.
Well, the Parliament has also passed the Prevention of Insults to National Honour Amendment Bill 2026. India's Minister of State for Home, Nityanand Rai, moved the bill to further amend the Prevention of Insults to National Honour Act 1971. The legislation seeks to give Vande Mataram the same statutory protection as the national anthem, Jan Gan Man. These offences are punishable with imprisonment up to 3 years, a fine, or both. Earlier, replying to the discussion on the bill, Minister of State for Home, Nityanand Rai, said the bill is not merely a legislative amendment, but it represents India's cultural heritage, national identity, and the ideals of the country's freedom struggle. He said in 1971, through the Prevention of Insults to National Honour Act, provisions were made to ensure respect for the national anthem. And India correspondent Vishal Baristo joins us live for more. Well, Vishal, good morning. Yesterday was a fruitful day. Parliament passed the anti-paper leak bill and Prevention of Insults to National Honour Amendment Bill also. Give us a gist of what all transpired.
Well, a very good morning to you, Lipakshi. Once the bill is passed by both houses of the Parliament, then it goes through statutory and executive procedure. The bill has a final draft of the bill is then signed by the leader, by the chairperson of the Rajya Sabha, since the bill originated in the Rajya Sabha. Then the draft is sent for the assent of the president, and then when the president puts her signature, it becomes an act of parliament, and then it is sent to the law ministry. The law ministry then comes up with a gazette notification, after which the Ministry of Personnel, Public Grievances and Pensions then notifies a date after which it comes into effect. Now, this bill, as the minister was saying, is so important, watertight procedure that would ensure that no student is cheated because of the cheating mafia and because of paper leaks. The bill ensures that every state and every union territory must have a fast-track court, and apart from that, the police investigation has to be completed within 2 months, and after the charge sheet is filed, then the whole investigation, the trial has to be completed within 3 months. So it is definitely a very good bill which has been approved, approved by both houses of the Parliament, and now it's, in a short time it would become an act. Vipakshi.
Thank you so much for all that update. Well, in a written reply in Lok Sabha, government informed on Thursday that the ethanol blended petrol program has been implemented through a phased, scientifically validated and consultative process involving Niti Aayog, automobile manufacturers, oil marketing companies, Automotive Research Association of India, Society of Indian Automobile Manufacturers, Indian Institute of Petroleum and other technical institutions. The rollout of high ethanol blends was undertaken only after extensive consultations. Extensive laboratory studies and field trials confirmed that E20 is safe for use under prescribed standards. These studies also established that legacy vehicles do not exhibit any significant variation in performance or abnormal wear and tear due to E20. Manufacturer service data confirms that there is no abnormal corrosion, wear or reduction in vehicle life due to E20 fuel. The government's assessment is based not only on laboratory research but also on large-scale experience after nationwide implementation. According to Siam and RI, E20 improves acceleration and ride quality while reducing carbon emissions as well. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Thursday chaired a meeting of the Cabinet Committee on Security to review the situation in the context of ongoing West Asia conflict and measures taken by various ministries and departments. This was the fourth special CCS meeting on the issue. On the situation of seafarers in conflict zones, Prime Minister Modi directed to establish a mechanism to provide timely information, emergency assistance and counselling to seafarers and their families. Prime Minister said that all efforts must be made to safeguard the citizens as well as the Indian diaspora from the impact of this conflict. Requirements for the fertilizers for the ensuing Rabi season was assessed and alternate sources of fertilizers were also discussed. Prime Minister said that all measures be taken for ensuring uninterrupted supply of fertilizers. In order to ensure energy independence, Prime Minister Modi said that the emphasis should be made on renewable energy sources. And in a major step towards preserving Ladakh's archaeological and cultural heritage, Lieutenant Governor Vinay Kumar Saxena has declared 23 historically significant sites as protected monuments under the provisions of the Jammu and Kashmir Ancient Monuments Preservation Act. The landmark decision marks a significant milestone in safeguarding Ladakh's unique civilizational heritage by ensuring legal protection, scientific conservation and systematic restoration of monuments that reflect the region's long and diverse history. In a post on social media, Lieutenant Governor said that the government is committed to driving modern progress while securely anchoring future generations to our glorious, authentic roots under the guidance by Prime Minister Narendra Modi's vision of Vikas Bhi Virasat Bhi. And the flood situation in Assam has shown further signs of improvement. However, 2.12 lakh people continue to remain affected as flood waters persist in several districts. The IMD issued yellow alert for Assam with chances of heavy rainfall in several areas. 8 districts remain affected by the floods. These include Golaghat, Sivasagar, Charaideo, Jorhat, Dhemaji, Biswanath, Nagaon and Kamrup Metro. Floodwaters have impacted 21 revenue circles and 437 villages, while 2,12,441 people continue to suffer due to the deluge. Nearly 17,198 hectares of crop area remain submerged. The Dhansiri South River at Numaligarh continues to flow above the danger level. Charaideo remains the worst hit district with 77,456 people affected, followed by Sivasagar with 71,232 people, Jorhat with 39,447 people and Golaghat with 24,306 people. Relief and rescue operations are continuing across the affected areas. At present, 112 relief camps and relief distribution centers are operational across the state. More than 13,000 people are staying in relief camps, while over 62,000 others are receiving assistance through relief distribution centers. Authorities have deployed 94 medical teams and 26 boats to support relief efforts. Also, the latest report confirms 2 flood-related deaths, both reported from Sivasagar district, while no person is currently reported missing. The total death toll in this year's flood rises to 80. Floodwaters have also damaged roads, bridges, embankments and public infrastructure in 7 districts. In Sivasagar, authorities have reported severe erosion along the Dikau embankment near Metika Ghat, posing a threat to nearby habitations as well as the historic monuments Talatal Ghar and Ranghar. Meanwhile, in Guwahati, the urban flood situation has largely eased. Only partial waterlogging was reported in Buragaon Service Lane, Padumbari and Tetalia. Well, also in a major relief measure for flood-affected families in Assam, the state government has announced a financial support package, including loan moratoriums, repayment extensions and assistance for restoring damaged community structures. The relief package covers affected people in Sivasagar, Charaideo, Golaghat and Jorhat districts. Under the scheme, borrowers of housing, education and car loans will get a 6-month moratorium with repayment periods extendable by up to 1 year. For crop loans, self-help group loans, fisheries, poultry and dairy loans, a 6-month repayment holiday has been announced with loan tenure extensions of up to 2 years. MSME borrowers will also receive a 6-month moratorium, while repayment periods can be extended from 3 years up to 7 years. The government has additionally announced a collateral-free consumption loan of 10,000 rupees for existing borrowers to meet immediate post-flood expenses. It also has sanctioned 1.5 lakh rupees each for repair and restoration of flood damaged Namghars in Sivasagar and Charaideo districts. The Prime Minister Narendra Modi met members of Parliament from Arunachal Pradesh and Nagaland and discussed the situation in the two states in the wake of the floods. In a post on social media, Prime Minister Modi said that the central government will continue working with the respective state governments to address the challenges arising from the floods. Prime Minister also prayed for everyone's well-being and safety. And still to come on DD India Newshour. UNSC holds first straw poll for the next UN chief. Costa Rica's Rebecca Greenspan emerges the front runner. Welcome back. You're watching DD India News. I'm Lipakshi Kuran. And moving on, US President Donald Trump on Thursday announced an agreement for the complete disarmament of Hamas and other armed groups in Gaza, calling it a critical step towards a new Palestinian government in Gaza. In a post on Truth Social, Trump cast it as a major milestone in the implementation of the Trump 20-point plan to end Israel's war in Gaza. Trump asserted that the agreement would be implemented in phases. He wrote Israeli forces will withdraw and an international stabilization force working alongside a new Palestinian police force will assume responsibility for security in Gaza. The president thanked mediators from Egypt, Qatar and Turkey as well as his administration for helping broker the agreement. Senior Hamas officials confirmed on Friday that they have reached a deal to end the conflict with Israel after Trump announced that the group was prepared to disarm. Also, Hamas officials said the deal includes provisions addressing the group's weapons and the gradual withdrawal of Israeli forces from the Gaza Strip. However, the Israeli official earlier on Thursday, who declined to be identified, said Israel had rejected a proposal. The Iranian Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps said it struck a U.S. military base in Kuwait on Thursday in retaliation for a large-scale U.S. attack on Iran earlier that day. The strike destroyed 2 drone hangars and a fuel depot for aircraft and military helicopters, the IRGC said in a statement. The IRGC said earlier that the United States had launched an airstrike on Iran from the military base in Kuwait, hitting 2 houses on Iran's Qashm Island in an attack which killed a family of 3, including a child, and injured 2 other children. In retaliation, the IRGC said it also struck a U.S. military base in Jordan on Thursday, destroying 3 F-35 5 fighter jets. The U.S. Military Central Command said on Thursday it has redirected 24 commercial vessels since restarting a blockade on Iranian ports earlier this month, up from 20 vessels a day earlier. Also, CENTCOM said since President Trump reinstated the blockade, U.S. forces have boarded 2 ships accused of violating it and have fired at 2 other ships to disable them. The U.S. has publicly insisted the Strait of Hormuz is still open to commercial traffic, but transits through the waterway remain extremely low as Iran threatens to strike the ships. The U.S. military completed a wave of strikes against Iran on Thursday in retaliation against Tehran targeting American bases in Jordan. Iran's state news agency reported hits on several cities in the southwestern Khuzestan province as well as on Qasem Island in the Gulf. Also, the United States on Thursday issued new sanctions on Thursday targeting global networks supporting Mahan Air, the Iranian carrier transporting Iran's Revolutionary Guards personnel as well as weapons and drones. The U.S. Treasury designated 6 entities and individuals in China, Russia and Iran, including several companies that act as sales agents for the U.S. and EU-sanctioned airline, the department said in a statement. The move comes as a drone strike on gas vessels in Egypt's Mediterranean port of Damietta signaled a potential new front in the U.S.-Iran war, raising the prospect of threats to navigation through the Suez Canal. Treasury said it was also sanctioning a front company associated with the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps that has supported Iran's kinetic targeting during the war. And for more, we have Akhilesh Suman joining us. Well, Akhilesh, with reports of a possible Hamas disarmament agreement, as Trump calls it, historic agreement, alongside differing positions from Israel as well, how realistic are the prospects for a lasting peace in Gaza with a new Palestinian government?
Lipakhi, there's no doubt that the announcement is quite historic because, that the whole world was actually expecting that some breakthroughs would come because, Gaza, there was no retaliation from the side of Gaza in Israel for quite long time. But we have been seeing that there had been attacks from Israeli side to Gaza. I asked to my sources in Israel about this thing that it is one-sided attack inside Gaza. So Israelis said that Hamas still controls around 40 to 45% areas of Gaza. So and we have suspicion that they are preparing for another war. So that is why Israelis are attacking everywhere. They are feeling that there might be hideout of Hamas or its other related outfits inside Gaza. So in that way, this announcement is quite important because that this announcement will pave way for completion of the peace agreement that has been signed between Hamas, Israel, and Americans. So I think that let us hope that something would come out of it because the peace in Gaza, peace in the whole Palestinian region is quite important. Not only Gaza is disturbed, but also Palestinian authorities area, that is the West Bank or Ramallah, they are also disturbed. Many a times we feel that there are raids from Israeli side to West Bank area, and this is on the suspicion of extremists or militants or Hamas people are hiding in that area. And even settlements have also been going on in West Bank area, and there has been conflict between new settlers and also the old people who are living there, who belong to Palestinians, area in that way. So I think that this announcement is quite important, and everybody in the world is keeping the fingers crossed that once the disarmament process starts and the new Palestinian administration takes place, this will become a very important region in the world, given the fact that right from October 7, 2023, this area is quite disturbed. We see the rubble. Gaza has turned into rubble, and people. One cannot imagine that how the people of Gaza are living in those amidst those rubbles. So for life, for humanitarian purpose, and for also the value of human life, the peace agreement needs to be implemented as soon as possible. Yeah. And as Donald Trump is telling that after the demilitarization, disarmament of Hamas, the Israeli forces will return back from Gaza. So everyone in the world expects that this should happen as soon as possible.
Absolutely, quite an important announcement indeed. Also, Akhilesh, the confrontation between the US and Iran, if we talk about, is now expanding through military strikes, sanctions, maritime tensions. Of course, US says it has turned around 24 commercial ships in Iran blockade, and transits through the waterway remain extremely low. Where do we see all this moving now?
This is war of doves, Lipakshi between Iran and USA. We have seen that how, after 2023, the whole Gaza area has been facing, the people of Gaza has been facing. The same thing is happening inside Iran also. What I am getting from my sources from inside Iran, they are telling that the attacks from American side are quite severe. They are, affecting the human life, they are affecting civilian life, and some, punishments are also going inside Iran on the suspicion of their spying, their democratic people. So many people have been hanged. So the whole news is very discomforting inside Iran also. But IRGC, that is considered to have taken the mantle of power in Iran, and they are working on their own, and there is a lack of political leadership inside Iran. That is why any ceasefire is not sustaining. Once the ceasefire is announced, it stops for 2 or 3 days, and again some attacks comes from Iranian side. We are seeing it for last 3 ceasefire announcements, and U.S. Narrative is that U.S. is facing brunt of the attacks from Iranian side, because if you go to Jordan, if you go to Egypt, if you go to Kuwait, people are getting the news. But what is happening inside Iran, nobody is getting the news, because the media is quite censored. Their internet, blockades are there. So we are not getting the real picture inside. And that, embarrassment is also making IRGC to attack again on, American bases in the whole region. So it is going nowhere. It is going to destruction inside Iran. They are not negotiating on the nuclear issue. They want to keep the Strait of Hormuz closed for every country in the world. So situation is quite, disheartening for everyone, and attacks are mounting. Iranians are attacking, and then Americans are attacking. People of Iran are trapped between the fight between the regime and the American forces.
As of now, the situation is going nowhere. Thank you so much, Akhilesh, for all that analysis. And US President Donald Trump presented an initiative called Freedom Haulers, which aims to place military veterans in trucking jobs, considering their previous driving experience. During an event outside the White House, Trump said former military members with heavy truck driving experience would be automatically eligible for a commercial driver's license. The president also said the plan was in line with a strategy to remove undocumented migrants from the American roads, and explained 28,000 commercial driver's licenses unlawfully issued illegally had been cancelled. Well, a first informal UN Security Council poll on Thursday showed a former Costa Rican Vice President Rebecca Greenspan as the early front-runner to become the next UN Secretary General, followed by former Guyanese Foreign Minister Caroline Rodriguez-Burkett. In the non-binding straw poll voting by the 15 members of the Security Council, Greenspan received 10 encouraged votes to 9 for Rodriguez-Burkett and 7 for Argentina's Rafael Grossi. The candidates from Argentina, Chile, Costa Rica, Ecuador, Guyana, Senegal and Uganda are seeking to replace Antonio Guterres of Portugal when he steps down at the end of this year after 2 5-year terms. In the straw polls, of which multiple rounds are expected, Security Council members are asked in secret ballots if they encourage, discourage or have no opinion on candidates. The Council conducted one voting round and did not set a date for another. Denmark, which assumes the rotating presidency on Friday, would provide details in coming days. And still to come in DD India Newshour. Europe battles relentless wildfires as France contains major blaze. Spain, Greece and England remain on high alert. Severe weather wreaks havoc across Chile. And Amazon beats expectations with cloud and AI growth.
Jharkhand will mesmerize you with majestic nature, rich heritage and colorful culture.
Johar.
Johar.
It fits perfectly.
Thank you. Full workout हो गया.
Ready?
Postcards from Jharkhand on National Geographic.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India News. I'm Lipakshi Khuranan. Moving on in major developing news, Spain has deployed military units to reinforce police in its enclave of Ceuta in North Africa as migrants surged by sea and land from Morocco into the territory. Authorities sought to close off another Spanish enclave nearby. Hundreds of migrants were seen swimming or floating on inner tubes from the Moroccan side, and others were breaking through a gate on land and running into the city. Ceuta and Melilla have the European Union's only land borders with Africa. In Melilla, footage appeared to show clashes at the Beni Ansar border point late. That has been the only open crossing between Morocco and Melilla for the past 6 months. According to reports, at least 3 vehicles were set ablaze and injuries were reported among migrants and security forces. The government said 200 specialized police officers and 60 troops arrived from the Spanish mainland to reinforce Ceuta's regular forces. It was unclear whether reinforcements were being sent to Melilla, and authorities were not immediately available for comment. Well, Spain's socialist government stands out in Europe for its pro-migrant stance, and it has recently launched a program to provide legal status for some 500,000 undocumented migrants, triggering an influx of applications, double that number, though right-wing parties criticize the drive. And Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni said her country could suspend the Shenzhen Agreement with Spain after chaotic crossings of migrants into the Spanish enclave of Ceuta from Morocco. She stressed that illegal migration was a real threat to European security, calling the image of migrants breaking through the border fences into the Spanish city shocking. Meloni said Italy stands prepared to tackle illegal migration through extraordinary measures if needed, adding that a government's policy includes defending borders, stopping human traffickers and ensuring effective repatriations. Well, the top officials within U.S. President Donald Trump's White House on Thursday reiterated their anti-immigration politics using video of Spanish enclave Ceuta. White House Deputy Chief of Staff Stephen Miller, a chief architect of Trump's anti-migration crackdown, shared video of the migration and compared it with policies of the rival Democratic Party. White House Communications Director Stephen Cheung, another top Trump official, shared a Fox News clip of Ceuta on X and wrote that this is what happened under former President Joe Biden. He also said that none of this would ever happen under President Trump's watch. And the death toll from this week's powerful earthquake in southwestern Japan has risen to 34 as rescue teams continue searching for survivors amid widespread destruction and extreme heat. Authorities said 7 more bodies were recovered from the collapsed Aeon shopping mall, where a suspected gas explosion followed the magnitude of 7.1 quake, while nearly 9,500 people are staying in evacuation centers across Kyushu. The earthquake damaged homes, bridges and infrastructure, leaving thousands without electricity and water as temperatures are forecast to reach 38 degrees Celsius. Rescue operations continue as officials race to find survivors and restore essential services. And some updates on wildfire. Now, after days of intense efforts to contain the blaze in France, wildfires in southwestern region have somehow been contained. On Thursday, authorities stated that the burnt area remains at 42,000 hectares after days of firefighting. Around 3,300 firefighters and significant aerial resources, including firefighting planes and helicopters, remained deployed in the area. However, the blazes raging through pine forests near Bordeaux have forced the evacuation of about 220,000 residents, though some 84,000 people have now been allowed to return. Thousands of businesses that had halted operations are beginning to resume activity. While Interior Minister Laurent Nunez said France's wildfire risk remains extremely high despite a slight movement in weather conditions, citing personal drought and fast-spreading blazes across the country. Well, wildfire conditions also improved in Spain's central provinces of Avila and Madrid. However, a blaze in Castellón remained out of control after burning more than 10,000 hectares, with adverse weather triggering several flare-ups. Around 10,000 evacuated residents were still unable to return to their homes in Castellón. While the wildfire has destroyed an avocado farm in eastern Spain, leaving orchards scorched and wiping out fruit destined for this year's harvest. Farmers said the damage will also affect production for the next few years until new trees mature. They urged the government to provide financial support to help prevent farmers from being abandoned. New wildfires have erupted in the northwestern Spanish provinces of Zamora and Leon amid the 4th heat wave of the summer. And in Greece, more than 200 firefighters grappled in Crete on Thursday to tame blazes burning for a second day after strong winds sparked new fronts. The fires that started on Wednesday in the southern region of Rethymno damaged coastal businesses and left behind scorched agricultural land. The wildfire prompted evacuations from several villages and tourist areas. In eastern England, a helicopter dropped water on a wildfire on Thursday as emergency services continue to tackle the blaze. The fires burned across parts of Dunwich Heath, home to protected bird species and other wildlife. Nearby communities were evacuated and roads were closed as Suffolk Fire and Rescue Service continued to try and control the blaze. And Chile has reactivated consular relations with Venezuela on Thursday. Chilean President Jose Antonio Caz said the move marks the beginning of a new stage which would enable progress on the huge challenges we have as countries on the same continent. He highlighted issues related to security, migration and economic development. The two countries broke consular relations also in early 2025. And now to some business news. Cuba announced new details of its plans to open up key sectors of its state-run economy to private industry amid Washington's campaign of maximum pressure. On Thursday, Cuban lawmakers concluded a 2-day National Assembly in which they discussed a series of economic changes. Cuban President Miguel Diaz-Canel said economic reforms, including private investment in some state sectors, are a sovereign decision and not aimed at pleasing the U.S. He ruled out privatizing key services while rejecting predatory capitalism. Diaz-Canel accused Washington of threatening military action against Cuba based on false premises and said the country remained open to resolving differences through dialogue. Well, the Consular General of India, Binaya Pradhan, attended the ceremonial bill signing marking the establishment of the Connecticut India Trade Commission, presided over by Governor of Connecticut, Ned Lamont, at the Connecticut State Capitol in Hartford. The Commission will provide a dedicated platform to strengthen India-Connecticut cooperation in trade, investment, technology, innovation, higher educational and institutional partnerships. Ambassador Pradhan welcomed the establishment of the Commission as a platform for identifying and advancing areas of cooperation between India and Connecticut. He highlighted opportunities in advanced manufacturing, aerospace, information technology, cybersecurity, clean energy, healthcare, higher education and innovation. The ceremony was also attended by Lieutenant Governor Susan Basevich, Senator Sujata Gatkar-Wilcox, Assemblyman Stephen Meskers, other elected representatives, business and academic leaders and members of the Indian American community. Well, Apple beat market expectations in its latest results, marking Tim Cook's final earnings report as CEO. However, the company's outlook for the current quarter disappointed investors. The tech giant's results were driven by strong iPhone demand and double-digit growth across all regions where it operates. However, Apple forecast revenue growth of between 9 and 11% for the current quarter, below market estimates citing supply restraints. The earnings report is expected to be Cook's last as chief executive. John Ternus will take over as CEO on September 1st, with Cook becoming executive chairman of the company's board. Attention is now turning to Apple's next lineup of smartphones expected in September and reportedly including a foldable model as well. And Amazon beat Wall Street expectations after posting strong second quarter growth driven by its cloud computing, artificial intelligence and chip businesses. The company reported a 20% jump in revenue to more than $200 billion, while Amazon Web Services climbed 37% to $42.2 billion. Amazon said its AI cloud and custom chip businesses each surpassed the $25 billion annual revenue run rate. Meanwhile, Microsoft gained over 15% after beating earnings estimates and reporting more than 30 million paid users for its AI-powered Copilot tool. In contrast, Meta shares tumbled after the Facebook and Instagram parent posted results that fell short of Wall Street expectations. An artificial intelligence company, Anthropic, reported that its artificial intelligence models gained unauthorized access to 3 outside organizations during security testing. The company said the incident happened during tests designed to keep its AI models away from real-world systems. Anthropic evaluated more than 141,000 test runs and found 3 versions of its Claude model accessed external system. The company said the models had internet access due to a misunderstanding with its evaluation partner, Irregular. Anthropic said Claude used basic techniques, including exploiting weak passwords and unauthenticated endpoints. The incident comes days after rival OpenAI reported similar security testing issues involving its AI models. OpenAI said its models breached multiple companies and temporarily paused testing to improve security measures. The incidents have renewed concerns over AI safety, with more than 1,000 AI employees signing a petition calling for a slow and more controlled approach to developing advanced AI systems. And still to come on DT India Newshour. ICC unveils venues, new format for 2027 ODI World Cup across South Africa, Zimbabwe and Namibia. Welcome back. You're watching DT India News. I'm Lipakshi Khurana, and on to some sports news now. In sports, weightlifting, India's impressive run at the Commonwealth Games continued with weightlifter Lovepreet Singh winning a silver medal. The 28-year-old claimed silver in the men's over 110 kilogram category with a total lift of 388 kilograms. The Birmingham 2022 bronze medalist upgraded his medal after lifting 156 kilograms in the snatch to set a new Commonwealth Games record. He then lifted 205 kilograms and 212 kilograms in the clean and jerk to seal the silver medal. The medal was India's 8th in weightlifting at the Games. And India's Seema won the bronze medal in the women discus throw at the Commonwealth Games. In fact, the 27-year-old secured third place with the best throw of 58.66 meters, taking India's athletic medal tally to 4. It is the first major international medal for Seema, who is pursuing a PhD and is the mother of a 4-year-old son. India's Nidhi Rani finished 4th with a throw of 57.10 meters. And President Draupadi Murmu congratulated Seema Kaliramman in a post on social media platform X. The president said, and I quote, "Heartiest congratulations to Seema Kaliramman on winning bronze medal in the women's discus throw event at Glasgow Commonwealth Games 2026. Your achievement is a testament to your perseverance, dedication and hard work. Your success will inspire young women to strive for excellence in sports. May you continue to bring glory to the nation." And two-time Olympic medalist Neeraj Chopra, along with 2 other Indians, advanced to the Commonwealth Games men's javelin throw final after finishing among the top 12 in the qualification round in Glasgow. Chopra was 5th with the best effort of 79.61 meters, while Rohit Yadav and Yashveer Singh ended the qualification in 9th and 10th positions respectively to ensure a full Indian contingent in the medal round. Chopra, who was the last thrower in each round, did not take his third and final attempt as he had already made it to the medal round by that time. With a steady headwind and temperature of 18 degrees Celsius making conditions difficult throughout the event, none of the competitors was able to reach the automatic qualification mark of 84 meters.
Cold and windy, but the throw was okay, like 79-meter throw, and the goal was to go in the final and give my best in the final. So I'm happy with the throw. Lots of throws struggling today. Nobody throw automatic qualification round. It was tough condition, but yeah, we are happy that all 3 Indians are in the final.
Well, at the Commonwealth Games in Glasgow, the Indian Olympic Association organized a vibrant kite festival, bringing together athletes, officials and delegates from across the Commonwealth. SDT India correspondent Narayan Singh's report from Glasgow on how India is connecting with the world through its traditions and culture.
Glasgow is not just witnessing a sporting action, it is also getting a glimpse of India's vibrant culture. The Indian Olympic Association organized a colourful kite festival on the sidelines of the Commonwealth Games. The event showcased India's rich traditions as the country prepares to host the next Commonwealth Games in Ahmedabad in 2030, the centenary edition of the Games.
India's rich cultural traditions took center stage in Glasgow as the Indian Olympic Association organized a colourful kite festival on the sidelines of the Commonwealth Games. Glasgow 2026 gold medalist Reuben Ward of Scotland and silver medalist Murali Sri Shankar of India joined representatives from Commonwealth Sport and Team India in looking ahead to the 2030 Commonwealth Games, being hosted by Ahmedabad in Gujarat ahead of the official handover this Sunday. Inspired by Ahmedabad's annual kite festival, 30 children from the local community group Glasgow Indians Association marked the occasion by flying kites emblazoned with Scottish and Indian flags. The event was attended by IOA President Dr. P.T. Usha, IOA CEO Raghuram Iyer, and Commonwealth Sports President Donald Rookeray.
Kite flying ceremony, this festival is a very iconic celebration of city of Ahmedabad, which always Gujarat is proud of it. And that also we done with the children here, but actually for the Scotland, which the children is part of the Indian community. And this is what the fun and the friendship and for the new generation.
The event gave delegates and visitors a chance to experience a unique part of Indian culture. With Ahmedabad set to host the centenary edition of the Commonwealth Games, India has already begun building excitement for the historic event.
Kite flying is big not only in Gujarat and Ahmedabad but in Scotland as well. So we decided to do a small event here with the children who are the future of any country, of any sport, to come out and fly kites. And we had two very inspiring athletes, one from Scotland who just won a double medals in gymnastics, and our own Murli Sri Shankar, who just won the silver medal in long jump yesterday, to inspire the athletes.
Ahmedabad is ready. We are seeing this with the Ahmedabad Exposition Center. We have been at the Kite Flying Festival. So there's no doubt that we look forward to connecting. We will be coming back to India. As you know, we were there for the 2010 Games. So we're looking forward to coming back to Ahmedabad to celebrate our 100 years. And there's no doubt that the 74 territories and every athletes from our territories will have a good experience in Ahmedabad.
Children with tricolor kites added to the festive atmosphere. The colorful kites became a symbol of friendship, unity, and the shared spirit of the Commonwealth. The friendship, togetherness, and India's commitment to delivering a memorable Commonwealth Games in 2030.
From the sports to culture, India has already begun its journey towards Ahmedabad 2030. Events like these are helping build excitement, stronger bonds with the Commonwealth family ahead of the historic Centenary Games. With camera person Stalin Prabhu, Narayan Singh, DD India, Glasgow.
Well, India performed well on day 8 of the Glasgow 2026 Commonwealth Games, and all eyes are now on day 9. We're joined by DD India correspondent Narayan Singh for more updates from Glasgow. Well, Narayan, with several key events lined up for day 9, how important could this be for India's medal hopes?
Well, day 9 could be India's biggest day of the game so far, with several medal opportunities across athletics, boxing, judo, track cycling. And all eyes will be on Olympic champion Neeraj Chopra, who headlines India's campaign in the men's javelin throw final. India's day begins with Tejaswi Sankar, who resumes his decathlon campaign in 110-meter hurdles, discus throw and pole vault before returning late in the evening for the javelin throw and the final 1500-meter event. His performance could add another medal to India's athletics tally. And the biggest attraction of the day just come after midnight, when Neeraj Chopra takes field in men's javelin throw alongside Rohit Yadav and Yashveer Singh. India will also be in action in men's 400-meter hurdles final through Yashas and Santosh Kumar, while Animesh Kujur will compete in men's 200-meter final. Talking about the boxing, where India has performed exceptionally well, it remains busy throughout the day. Olympic medalist Lovepreet Borgohain leads the India's challenge in semi-finals with Preeti Pawar, Jasmine, Ankush Pangal, Priya Ghangas, Sachin and Narendra Berwal in the heavyweight category will be fighting for their places for the gold medal bouts. And India's judo campaign also gets underway, with several judokas beginning their medal quest. There will also be, we see the lawn balls in action, where Navneet and Dinesh will play their 5th match. And trial cycling, we will say our cyclists, where they will aim to progress into the medal round. With Neeraj Chopra chasing another major title, boxers looking to confirm medals and book final berth, and the athletes competing in multiple events, day 9 promises to be one of the exciting and crucial days yet for the India at the Commonwealth Games in Glasgow.
All right. Thank you so much, Narayan, for all that update from there. And the ICC has announced the venues for the 2027 ODI World Cup, which will be held in October and November across 3 countries, Zimbabwe, Namibia and South Africa. The tournament will be played at 12 venues, with 8 venues in South Africa, 3 in Zimbabwe, and matches also scheduled in Namibia's capital, Windhoek. The announcement was made at a grand event in Johannesburg, attended by South African cricket legends including Graeme Smith, Makhaya Ntini, Hashim Amla, Temba Bavuma and Kagiso Rabada, along with former Zimbabwe and Namibia players. The 2027 World Cup will feature a new format, with 14 teams taking part. For the first time, a Super Series will be introduced, where 3 teams will compete and the top team will advance to the next round. The 12 teams will be divided into 2 groups, followed by a Super 7 stage. And European soccer's governing body UEFA and its 55 member nations on Thursday voted to boycott all FIFA tournaments in what could be a knockout blow to the global soccer organization's proposal to sell a stake in the World Cup to external investors. World Soccer's ruling body said on Tuesday it plans to create a $20 billion subsidiary to run the World Cup and its other events and will offer stakes of up to 20% into external investors. In a statement, Europe presented a united front to FIFA boss Gianni Infantino, whose proposal this week blindsided regional confederations. 6 of the top 10 ranked teams in both men's and women's soccer are from Europe, including world champion Spain. And heavy rain sent the flow at South America's Iguazu Falls surging to nearly 3 times its normal rate, drawing visitors to dramatic views of the swollen cascades. All right, that's all for this edition of DD India News Hour. But let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code on the screen to download now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Lipakshi Khurana from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India News Hour.